Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here, back with another reaction video. And today we finna react to WWE Summerslam Night 2. I know I'm supposed to do Night 1, and then I was supposed to do Night 2 right after that, but the problem is, my friend, I work super late on Sunday, so I wasn't gonna be able to do it. Not gonna be able to do it. So you just gonna have to wait till now to get it. Bitch. But anyway, so without further ado, let's get right into it though.
Meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the chiseled Adonis. But of course, you already knew that. And last night we concluded night 2 of Summerslam live from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let me tell you something right now. Night 2 was absolute cinema. This was very much shades of WrestleMania, where night 1 wasn't, albeit WrestleMania night 1 was absolute ass. SummerSlam night 1 was solid, but night 2 was great across the board. There was only really one down in the entire thing of, Dom versus Danhausen. Wasn't necessarily a barn burner of a match, if you will. You already knew what you was going to get going into it, so I don't think anybody was necessarily disappointed by what it was that they watched, because if you went in there expecting to see some sort of a classic, I got some news for you. That's neither here nor there. Let's break down the matches and the flow of the pay-per-view. Once again, kudos to WWE, making sure not to turn this into what felt like the ads apocalypse, to where you felt as if you were missing out on ads and interrupted by your advertisement ads of SummerSlam by way of the matches. It felt way more, seamless, this particular PLE, than what we've experienced in the past. So kudos to WWE for doing that.
For sure.
Feel as if you didn't get the wrestling that you signed up to watch.
For sure. I will say that when you give us more wrestling, we get a better. You give us a better product to go to. If you just let us sit through ads, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave. We're not gonna watch this. Viewership is gonna go down, and I think they realized that with WrestleMania and a bunch of other PLEs, where they were trying to push the ads more, and it was like, wait a minute, we're losing viewership here. No, stop playing the ads. Stop playing the ads. I'm pretty sure ESPN got on their ads and said, hey, look, these are sporting events. You will lose viewership if you don't stop playing the commercials. We don't need all these commercials. We don't need all this advertisement. Tico's like, no, we're trying to profit more money. No. Viewership matters more than the money. It's like, what are you talking about? Viewership? Yes. The more eyeballs means the more advertisers is going to invest. We don't need that. And I'm pretty sure, and once they said that, I'm pretty sure TKO fell back like, all right, we'll play your game, but we're not going to see that much profit. I can tell you that. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure ESPN has been around long enough to do sporting events, and I think they know what they're talking about, because even ESPN don't go crazy with the commercials like you see with WWE. That was ridiculous at WrestleMania. So them understanding that and giving us more action and less ads, thank you. Finally, shit.
First and foremost, we kick off the show Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor for the right to challenge for the WWE Championship as the #1 contender. Nick Aldis makes his way to the ramp, and what do you know? The big surprise, the man who defeated him the night before, Gunther, was then added to the match, making it a triple threat. We all thought potentially in this slot, maybe it would have been a returning Drew McIntyre or something of that nature, or even
I thought Drew McIntyre was going to come back. I'm thinking, hey, Drew McIntyre is going to come back. No, once they said Gunther, I was like, wait a minute, what? Huh? Is Nick Aldis finna turn heel and become the heel GM after getting his ass whooped by Gunther? And then I'm looking like, why didn't they make this a stipulation instead? Why not make it a stipulation to where if Gunther beats Nick Aldis, he gets added to the #1 contenders match? That would have made more sense instead of just adding these guys last minute, because that kind of fucks it up a little bit. Because it's like you build up Sammy, you build up Finn, just to bring Gunther in. Now, when Kevin Owens came back, that was a big shocker right there, because I didn't think Kevin Owens was going to wrestle again, considering the fact he had a neck injury, but he came back, and I was just happy to see him back out there, man. I was really expecting Drew McIntyre to show up here. Maybe he'll show up on SmackDown this week. I don't know if he showed up on Raw. I've been streaming all day, so I don't know if anything. I don't watch Raw till after I'm done streaming. So yeah, I'll see after. But anyways, though,
Randy Orton, who we saw RKO Cody Rhodes, costing him the WWE Championship the evening prior. But oh no, it was Gunther who made his way down to the ring. And before he could even get in position, I think his body just halfway made it through the ropes. Nick Aldis, still on the stage, which we thought he had already departed, had another announcement that it wasn't only Gunther who would be added to the match. And lo and behold, the return of Kevin Owens. I think we all saw the reports claiming that Kevin Owens was cleared to return back to in-ring competition. But of course, just because somebody happens to get cleared doesn't mean as if they're brought back immediately. So we all were kind of on edge, waiting to see when the time would be that Kevin Owens would come back, because I believe the report came out during this past week. It might have only been 3 or maybe 4 some days ago. And what do you know? Kevin Owens is now added into the match, and I loved the reaction from Sami Zayn. His jaw dropped. In fact, his mouth was ajar for the better part of about 2.5 minutes from Kevin Owens making his way to the ramp, or I should say to the stage, down the ramp, in the ring of the bell, eliminating both Gunther and Finn Balor. Sami Zayn stood in the same spot, mouth ajar, jaw dropped, completely astonished, flummoxed, flabbergasted, absolutely taken aback. He couldn't believe what it was that he saw. His best friend is back in the WWE, and unfortunately for him, it ended up not working in his way, because he had justice for Sammy for the past few weeks after losing the WWE Championship, and evidently it was justice for KO, because he's earned the right to be the #1 contender, because he ended up winning the match, pinning Sami Zayn, defeating Gunther and alongside Finn Balor as well, to advance as the #1 contender. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a very good match. Fast. I thought it was much longer than it actually was, but of course you take into account the amount of time that was spent on the entrances and then ultimately the surprises and Nick Aldis, doing the announcements and things of that nature. It felt way longer than it actually was. I think they could have gave them a little bit more time, but ultimately that time went towards the main event. But Kevin Owens ultimately got the victory. I think the right person won. It kind of sucks for Finn Balor, because it felt as if, man, he's finally getting thrusted into the position that he should have been in 10 years ago, before the doggone injury, or I should say after the injury. But nonetheless, maybe over time he can still be somewhat of a major player at the top of the card, depending on how they book them moving forward. But ultimately, Kevin Owens coming back, this was the right way to do it, and him winning in that fashion, it's good. Protects Gunther as well, continues to keep the steam, going with Sami Zayn, and then, like I said before, we'll figure out what's going on with Finn Balor. Now, fast forward to the very next match, United States Championship on the line, a returning Baron Corbin, that bald fraud, making his first in-ring match since being fired. And
they could have did this on SmackDown and stop wasting our time, bro. They doing Trick Williams wrong, bro. Little Yachty gotta go, bro. I'm sorry, but Little Yachty holds no purpose. What is his purpose, bro? Trick don't need a partner along with him to the ring. They're holding Trick back. Trick solo can do so much on the mic. He doesn't need Yachty. He doesn't need Yachty to hype himself up. He can cut promos on his own. He doesn't need Yachty. I don't know why Yachty is there. He holds no purpose to Trick. None whatsoever. If you wanted to bring him out for WrestleMania because you want to get eyes on him, okay, cool. Nobody cares about Little Yachty. Nobody in the wrestling community cares about Little Yachty, bro. He is irrelevant. He is not a celebrity that we like. Oh gosh, Little Yachty, man, he's so cool, man. Nobody cares about this nigga, bro. This nigga been irrelevant since 2016, bro. Jesus Christ. This last time this nigga had relevancy was 2016. Ain't nobody checking for this nigga. It's not 2016. Ain't niggas out here going like, I know you want this for life. Taking pictures with all my life, but I can't have no wife. Ain't nobody checking for this nigga no more, man. Fuck this nigga, bro. Get him up out of here and let Trick shine on his own, bro. He does not need a celebrity endorsement next to him. Y'all ruining the matches with him, bro. And this was a waste of our time, bro, because y'all could have did this on SmackDown and called it a day.
He defeated Trick Williams, who had Little Yachty.
Carmelo Hayes should have been here. They would have put on a banger.
Of Yachty was done.
How do we substitute Carmelo Hayes for Baron Corbin? How does that make sense?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
How does substituting Carmelo Hayes for Baron Corbin make sense? Or better yet, why not a triple threat match between him and Ricky Saints? Carmelo Hayes, Ricky Saints, Trick Williams. You're promoting your up-and-coming superstars. Da, 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 da. Come on, bro. You was promoting your superstars right then and there. You could have, and you could have told a better story with that. But no, we gotta have Lil Yachty up in here. We gotta do something with Baron fucking Corbin of all people. They just don't get it. WWE just don't get it, bro. Triple H just don't get it. And then you took the title off of Trick on top of that too, giving it to Baron Corbin and wondering, what are you finna do with Baron Corbin, bro? Baron Corbin hasn't been relevant since 2017, bro.
Game over, yeah!
Fuck out of here.
I would hope now that Trick's no longer the champion, that chapter of Yachty being here is concluded, because I'm not going to hold you. I think it's ran its course. Again, no disrespect to Little Yachty. I think he played the role of a celebrity manager very well. He would sell upon impact, but then he would get up way too soon after taking a move. Like, if you're not a wrestler, you're essentially just a civilian. You take a damn big boot or you take some sort of move, you should stay down for the bulk share of the time. I really was not a big fan of him taking a move and or taking a strike, and then all of a sudden within some 30-some seconds he's standing back upright. I wasn't a big fan of that, but upon impact he always sold very well. He ended up getting put through a table. I'm not quite sure how the hell the referee didn't hear when he utilized the kendo stick.
Exactly.
But it's WWE. For whatever reason, once the match begins, the referee's ears no longer work, and all sense of rules go out of the window. But Baron Corbin was able to go and get the W, hit the end of days on Trick Williams. At one point, Trick Williams actually got busted open on, I believe it was the right side of his head. But I thought it was going to be way more blood, because when he looked at his hand, you saw like cup fingers were like damn near covered in blood. It wasn't gushing, but it certainly was red. The official put the gloves on and everything. But after that, I guess they must have either, put the Vaseline or maybe just wiped with the towel. There was a moment in which Trick rolled out of the ring and then Lil Yachty came around. So since he was off camera, they probably rubbed that doggone towel in there and then ultimately stopped, any profuse bleeding. But one way or another, it was a solid match. Wasn't anything special, but Baron Corbin got the victory. Fast forward to now, the women's interim ladder match, or I should say the women's ladder match for the interim women's championship. First and foremost, this should just be for the women's championship.
Exactly.
Rhea Ripley is injured. Therefore, if she cannot compete, why are you holding the championship while on the shelf?
Exactly. This makes no sense. Makes no sense, my nigga. This shit makes no sense. Nobody in the history of professional wrestling has been able to do this, unless this is a storyline. Understandable. But if this is real life and she's really injured, you gotta get that up. Nobody's ever been above being injured and having to give up the title. Stone Cold wasn't above it. John Cena wasn't above it. Naomi wasn't above it, and she had to relinquish the title twice. Twice. Naomi got to the mountaintop twice and had to give it up. Once due to injury, the other time due to her going off to have her baby. Congratulations to her, by the way. But that's not what puts Rhea Ripley above the likes of Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, and so many others who've had to relinquish their title. Batista had to relinquish the title. Roman Reigns had to relinquish the title when his leukemia came back up. So Seth Rollins had to give up the title when he got injured. Every top tier superstar has had to give up the title. What makes Rhea Ripley what gives Rhea Ripley the right to not lose her, not be stripped of her title? That doesn't make sense. She is injured. She can no longer compete. She must vacate the title. The title could have been up for grabs. I wish that more younger superstars would have got the opportunity. I wish JC Jane would have got an opportunity in that ladder match. I wish Jordan Grace could have came back and got in that match. You know what I'm saying? Blake Monroe, y'all just moved her up. Let's get her up in there. You put Lash Legend in there. She was doing a good job. I don't mind you putting Jade or one of them in there. Like, you know, you put Tiffany and Jade in there. That makes sense because they've been in the main event scene for quite some time now. That makes perfect sense. I feel like the newer guard the newer girls should have an opportunity in that ladder match, bro. And I hate that they gave it to Chelsea Green, even though she truly fucking deserves it because her character is on point. She got herself over with the crowd. Everybody was going crazy for her. Even I was supporting her, bro, because Chelsea Green is really that fucking good. But the fact that it's an interim thing, it sucks because once Rhea Ripley comes back, she can no longer be the champion. That doesn't make sense to me, bruh. We're hurting. This is why I can't get in tune with the product no more. Like, I just knew about the matches. I didn't even know how we even got here. But finding out that they're not even going to strip Rhea Ripley of the title says so much about WWE right now. Because Vince would never. Vince had rules in place for a reason. Triple H and TKO, they are abandoning everything, the integrity that WWE used to stand on. The integrity that WWE built is being stripped away by Triple H and TKO, and I hate that so fucking much because a lot of the things that's going on shouldn't be going on. But here we are. We got ads in the ring. We got ads on the weapons. We have matches that have so much emotion in them and are getting ruined by the advertisers coming out with their mascots and giving their product to the wrestler after they just put on an emotional match. We'll get there when we get to that point. But as of right now, I'm happy for Chelsea Green. This match wasn't really even that great. A lot of laziness going on. And it seemed like the girls really didn't want to be out there. I'm not even gonna hold you, bro. It seemed like they didn't really even want to be out there, bro. I'm just keeping it real with you. Well, it seemed like Last Legend and Chelsea wanted to be out there, but everybody else was like, we just here for the paycheck. I think that the way how WWE is being ran right now, I think people are really just like, we just here to get a paycheck and go home. I don't even think it's fun no more. I think while we got such a good product that we got during the pandemic, all the way up to like 2024, I think why we got such a good product was because everybody was having fun. Everybody was here. Everybody having fun. Even when Vince was in charge, everybody was still having fun. Everybody was still coming to work with and ready to put their game face on. We get to the point now where it's like people just showing up, they do their job and go home. It's a lot of botching, it's a lot of laziness going on. It's a lot of, let me just do this here. Let me do this here. Oh no, you're coming to take me down. Oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't see the effort. I don't see the enthusiasm. I don't see the love for the game no more with these wrestlers, bro. And it's just gonna get worse from here, man. Gonna get worse from here. I'm just saying.
Biggest problem that I have is the inconsistency that they have with champions holding title belts when injured. How is it that Dominic Mysterio can be injured, hold on to the IC championship, this is last year, for an extended period of time without competing? But then you have other people who happen to find themselves getting injured and they get stripped or have to ultimately go and drop said belt, or they get written off of television. You can't pick and choose. It makes absolutely no sense. WWE, you don't need no doggone interim champions. If this was a situation where Rhea Ripley was trying to pull a CM Punk on some, I'm going to win the title, I'm going to take my ball and go home and leave, cool, I understand, but that's not the situation. If she can't go, rip her of the championship again, and then ultimately have this match be for the women's championship.
Exactly.
Nonetheless, it was Lash Legend, Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and Chelsea Green. And what do you know? Chelsea Green came out on top. I was over the moon because those of you who followed and tuned in not only to the streams but follow the wrestling content for the better part of the past couple of years, I have been high on Chelsea Green for an incredibly.
We all been high on Chelsea Green. We all see the potential.
Or I should say, the very first inaugural.
We all see the potential with her. As fans, we see the potential. We know a star when we see one. We see a star at Chelsea Green. She's got the enthusiasm. She's got the character down pat. She has it all. She's a star. All you got to do is just push her. Triple H, I don't see it. You want to know what Triple H sees and versus what we see? Triple H only likes people that are like, you have to be a certain build, you have to have a certain look, or you have to have some type of, you have to have a certain build, a certain type of look, or you have to have some type of thing that they can build off you. Like you have to be something that he can easily mold into something. But if you organically get yourself over and he can't mold you into the superstar that he needs to mold you into, he's not going to take that chance with you. And that's the problem. See, Vince would take that chance with you. You know what I'm saying? You come on, dog. You think Stone Cold Steve Austin was a Vince McMahon idea? No, Stone Cold Steve Austin was a Stone Cold Steve Austin idea. Come on, bro. The Rock changing up his format, changing up the program and turning heel and talking trash and doing all the stuff he was doing instead of being Rocky Maivia. Once he broke free of Vince's shackles, John Cena just being himself, rapping on the back of a WWE bus, and Stephanie McMahon hears him, he blows up and becomes the biggest name in the company. Come on, bro. There's certain superstars that management can mold into something, and then there's certain superstars who just have it and you just have to let them blossom. And I don't think Triple H understands that. As head of creative, I don't think Triple H has the mental capacity to understand that sometimes people can organically get over just by having it. They don't have to be molded into something. They just have it. Let them do them. That's how you make superstars. But WWE has lost their way ever since. I want to say WWE has lost their way since Brock Lesnar, really. Brock Lesnar was something that they could mold into a superstar. and it wasn't hard to make him a superstar, which is true. Brock Lesnar was a fucking big. They hyped him up as the next big thing. He lived up to the hype. I will give him that. But that's the thing. They think they can build something like Brock Lesnar, and they can't. You have to let things organically just come that way, bro. And I think WWE lost the plot with that. How you make a superstar? You let them be them. You let John Cena be him, and then when you move them over to Raw, it's like, we're going to take this out your character. We're going to take this out your character. We need you to be like this, because we're trying to make you this, okay? Now, did it work in John Cena's favor? To a certain degree, yeah. But for the most part, they could have let him do more. They could have let him be more freer. Same thing could be said for Roman Reigns. Tried to mold him into this, didn't work. Let him be a heel. Let him do his tribal chief thing. Let him create an identity as the chief instead of the big dog. Look what happened. Look where he at now. Bro, you can't keep molding people, bro. You have to let people organically get themselves over, bro. That's how you build the next superstar. But I digress. WWE just doesn't know how to do that. But we all saw it in Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray is a star, bro. And Triple H, hopefully, can stop trying to mold her into something and just let her do her thing. That's all I ask.
Women's United States champion. I was there in Saturday Night Main Event to watch her win that championship. I said then, I'll say it again now. She was the best women's champion, United States women's champion, because she made every single segment not only matter, but entertaining as well. Whenever she comes on your television, she always makes you feel something. She's like the R-Truth of the women's division, where every single time she comes on, it's box office, it's gold, it's entertaining. You live for her segments. She doesn't necessarily have to just do it in the ring. She can do it outside of the ring. Very good at her job. Hence, her winning the women's championship was the right call. Charlotte could have ultimately became a 15-time champion. Jade could have became a 2-time champion. Tiffany could have became a 2-time champion. And then for Lash Legend, this could have been her first time winning the gold, right? Now, every woman who was involved in the match have all held gold. Lash Legend was a tag champion. Jade, obviously, previous champion. Tiffany, previous champion. Charlotte, 14-time champion. But Chelsea Green, she was a United States champion. So you had people who had held gold before, and the pacing of the match was good. I think the interactions between Charlotte and Jade continued to go and cook. That is a match that will be box office down the line when they find the right way to go and produce it and have the right stakes. I think that can be a main event somewhere. I know some folks aren't sold heavily on Jade's in-ring ability, but she doesn't need to go out there and be no super technician. I think if you pace the match the right way, you produce it the right way, you can make that match magnificent. So all depends on how they do that down the line. Lash Legend had a very good performance. I loved the power bomb that she connected on Tiffany Stratton. That was great. Tiffany Stratton also put forth a good performance as well. Her interaction with Charlotte, a face-off that was from last year's women's championship match at WrestleMania. That was cool as well. Jade and Lash Legend almost had themselves, a moment, but then Chelsea and then Tiffany came in and they ultimately went back and forth. But overall, the introduction of, or I should say, the interference from B-Fab and Meechin as Chelsea Green was climbing up the ladder when she pushed Tiffany Stratton off, and then Tiffany took out Lash, Jade, and Charlotte. I'm sitting there like, oh boy, this is Chelsea's moment. The crowd was on their feet. Folks was jumping in the air, and everybody thought she was fixing to go and win, and here came Jade's lackeys, freaking Meechin and B-Fab, going and beating down Chelsea Green, ultimately left her suspended upside down, and we thought, damn, well, it's over for Chelsea. We wanted her to win the women's Money in the Bank, last year, or was it the year before? I think it was last year. We wanted her to win the women's Money in the Bank. Unfortunately, that was not, in the cards. I think it was 2 years ago, and we wanted her to win the Money in the Bank, but that wasn't in the cards. Here she was upside down. Both, ladders were then placed next to her. The other 4 women made their way back into the ring and then knocked themselves back off. And then Chelsea was able to sit up, climb to the top. And again, I thought she was fixing to go and get screwed. I thought maybe Nia Jax was going to now go and interfere, because that would have really only been the other person who could interfere into this match, because, of course, Alexa's off of television. Tiffany Stratton's only friend is Chelsea Green, who's inside of the match. Chelsea's not going to have anybody come out on her behalf, because the Slagents are now unemployed, or at least in Piper Niven's case, she's unable to go and compete. So whatever the case was, I thought maybe they were going to screw Chelsea, but no, she made it to the top. She was able to go and grab the belt. Bam, she won. I said, yes, magnificent. And it was a great match across the board, right? So can't go wrong there. I think that was great. I was thoroughly, sports entertained, and that concluded the first half of night 2 of SummerSlam. Fast forward then, the match that we kind of knew wasn't going to be anything relatively special. Danhausen took on Dominic Mysterio, not for the Triple Championship. Instead, it was just a human monies on a pole match.
They could have had this on Raw. That's all I'm gonna say. They could have had this on Raw, bruh. That's all I'm gonna say. They could have had this on Raw.
I believe that you are ass. I believe that you are shit. I believe that you are trash. I believe that you are ass.
That's all I'm gonna say, bruh.
I thought maybe they could have potentially had more surprises to try to make it worthwhile and worthy of being a match on SummerSlam, but that wasn't really the case. The Mini-Housens made their, appearance that was out there. I believe it was El Torito, or I think Masquerita Sangrado would be way too old now. But I believe it was El Torito, who was one of the Mini-Housens, who was the luchador, able to actually, go and attack Dominic Mysterio. And also, JD McDonough, with that large, noggin, made his way down, despite the fact that his head can't really balance very well. It was leaning towards the left and the right because it's oversized. He went attacking, Danhausen and the Mini-Housens, attempting to aid Dominic Mysterio in winning the match. But ultimately, my biggest op, Dominic Mysterio, did take that loss, because when he finally got closer to human monies, Danhausen, while suspended on the top rope, after getting, his family jewels attacked, he ultimately said, "You are cursed." And then bam, here comes the pyrotechnics. It ends up catching Dominic Mysterio, and then he goes up, the turnbuckle, grabs the human monies, and Danhausen is indeed winning and wins against Dom Mysterio. I'm happy with the result. Anytime I happen to see Dominic Mysterio lose, I'm having a great time. Right now, I would just hope that the curse is able to make its way down to Mexico, so we can see Dominic Mysterio drop that Triple Championship, so that he can have no gold as we continue to move forward. Then, what I believe, the match of the night up until the main event, the Intercontinental Championship was on the line. Penta.
This was a great match. But the root beer company coming out at the end, bro, to ruin that moment, bro.
Had made his
to ruin that moment. Chad Gable wins his first singles championship. The root beer company comes out. He's celebrating in the ring with his mother, his father, his children, his wife. Celebrating that moment in his hometown. He's the only person from Minnesota to win a match. Brock lost his match. Tiffany Stratton lost the fucking ladder match. He's the only Minnesota-born person to win a match for SummerSlam. And then they bring out the fucking root beer company with their mascot to give him some root beer so he can drink it in the ring and be like, yeah, root beer, yeah, go buy you some root beer. Yeah, everybody should go get them some root beer right now. Ruined the entire moment. The whole moment was ruined when that damn dog came out. When that damn bulldog came out for that damn root beer company, ruined the entire moment. That was not necessary, bro. Advertisement was not necessary for a match like that. That was an emotional moment. This was his first win. He was in the ring. He was celebrating with his family. He cut a promo after that, and then root beer, yay! No, they ruined that entire match, bro. Fuck this. Fuck TKO. Fuck WWE.
Way down the doggone ramp right after the hometown hero Chad Gable with that god-awful theme song made his way down the ramp trying to win the IC championship for his 6th attempt to finally get that title for the very first time. And if you guys remember, he faced Penta in, I believe it was Penta's first match on in WWE, and it was a magnificent match. Chad Gable had his mom, his dad, his wife, his kids all sitting ringside to see if he could finally get the job done. I will say this much, the skull clap or whatever it is that he was trying to go and get going, it looked very nice aesthetically. I just would really like if they brought back either the American Alpha theme song or the theme song they gave Chad Gable when he was tagging with Shelton Benjamin. This theme that they got right now, it's slop, if you will. It's I'm not a fan. But nonetheless, it was a very good match, very technical. It was highly, a whole lot of impact as well, very physical as well. It was a very, very, very traditional intercontinental type championship match, and it delivered. Penta looked like $1 million. Chad Gable looked like $1 million. There was a moment in which Chad Gable was also busted open. I think it was from his forehead, because that's where the blood was at the time. But nonetheless, a Mexican destroyer on the apron wasn't enough to put him down. And
yeah, that Mexican destroyer was crazy.
Out. And I loved after the match, Penta, after all this saga of Chad having to go, put on this persona of El Grande Americano, then going down to Mexico and having the match of the year with Ludwig Kaiser, El Grande Americano 2.0, them having that match, ultimately him paying homage and respect to luchadors, re-earning, their respect by way of apologizing to Phoenix, to Dragon Lee, to Penta, also to Rey Mysterio, getting all of that respect there to earn the right to become the #1 contender for the IC championship. Then that culminating with defeating Penta, and Penta standing there taking the title away from Gable and then wanting to be the one to put it around his waist. Beautiful moment, classic professional wrestling. I loved having Chad's family then come inside of the ring to go and celebrate that moment with him. That was awesome to watch. That's pure wrestling at its finest. That's what you live for. That's what you watch the program for. That is the essence of pro wrestling. It was beautiful, and Chad Gable got the W. I enjoyed that. That was the match of the night until the main event began. The last time, which it should be the last time, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, one-on-one for the first time in 4.5 years since 2022 for the World Heavyweight Championship. For anybody who knows,
man, that shit was cinema. That shit was cinema, bro. That was a great match. That's how you put on a match. That's how you send people home. You tell a fucking story. A story that has been long overdue for a conclusion, but boy, did we get one hell of a conclusion. They can finally put that bird in the bed. Roman can move on. Seth can move on. We ain't gotta worry about it no more. That was a fire-ass ending, bruh.
It's a story which all of you guys who are WWE watchers should know. Since becoming the tribal chief, Roman Reigns has never defeated Seth in a match that truly mattered. Hell, for one-on-one, he hasn't been able to beat him. Last time that I think Roman defeated Seth was, 2018? Maybe 2019, but I think it's 2018, if you will. So he hasn't been able to actually go and defeat him. Now, albeit, they have had their interactions, main event of night 1 of WrestleMania last year, but that's a triple threat match. And that story was more along the lines of being the storyline of Paul Heyman than it was, Rollins and Reigns. And then ultimately, the year prior, WrestleMania 40, the tag match between Reigns and Rock versus Cody and Seth. Still, the storyline was more about Roman and Cody. And then in night 2, Seth came out to be the Shield, distracted Roman grabbing the chair and hit him in the back, ultimately cost him, his opportunity to remain as champion for a 1317th day. Instead, it ends at 1316, and Cody Rhodes finally goes and finishes the story. Nonetheless, it was a very good match. The build to it was great. One thing that, and it could be nitpicky, but I've said this time and time again, the referees, if you're going to have it by the referee discretion regarding the count out or the DQ, it's a bad move. Because this match, it wasn't any stipulations. So how is it that, and there's no bloodline rules and nothing of that nature, it's a straight one-on-one match. How is it that now, they exit outside of the ring, they start fighting their way around the audience? It's a count out.
That is a count out. And then he hit him with one of the poles. He hit him with one of the poles on the outside. That was a disqualification. So that's kind of crazy, though. You hit him with a pole, and then to end the match, no, I'm not going to use no chair. I'm going to beat you straight up with my abilities. Nah, bro. Don't get it twisted. It's still a great match, cinema. But when they went outside and went back in the ring, it was kind of like. Then the referee started counting after they got sent through the table and shit. Like, come on, bro.
Literally a count out. But it's the main event. It's the world champion. You can't count him out. Great. Why is it when they make their way back after 2.5 minutes of fighting through the crowd, the referee starts counting?
Exactly.
You can't count to try to make a 10 count. And then to make matters worse, Reigns went in the ring to go break the count. You spent 2 minutes out here. What, they gonna count you out now? It makes no sense. Stop doing that. Either they're gonna have the 10 count and it's strict, or it's gonna be a no count out rule.
If you know what the match that you're trying to tell, just make it a no disqualification match, so that way you don't have to deal with these type of inconsistencies, because that does ruin the match. So yeah, in my personal opinion, no. I really think that brings the match down some, but it's still, that shit was cinema.
Stop insulting my intelligence. I cannot stand
exactly
that. It drives me up a wall. Now with the weapons, if there's something that's already set up, like, I'll dispel my belief regarding the announce tables and the chairs. The stairs is different because the stairs have always been there. It's never been a DQ to throw somebody into the stairs unless, before the modern era, maybe. But putting somebody through an announce table, cool. The table was already set up. You just happened to go through something that was already set up. Cool. Same thing with the barricade. It's already there. If I go and I set up a barricade to now throw you through, then that could be, tantamount to a DQ, understandably. But with the count out, you gotta stop. They're fighting to get in to break the 10 count. Now they're gonna get in by 9, bro. You was just outside for 2.5 minutes. What do we do? Nonetheless, I don't want to harp on it any further. I gave like 90 seconds to it. Let's move on. It was a good match. It was great storytelling. Countless Superman punches there from Reigns, countless curb stomps there from Seth Rollins. On multiple different occasions, they actually did each other's finisher. I love the fact that they both put each other through the table with the Shield power bomb. That was pretty cool. Or I should just say power bomb. It's not a Shield power bomb unless there's multiple people who's doing it. But they put each other through the table. That was great as well. The storytelling at the end, the climax of the match, where they had like their Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, WrestleMania 24 moment, where Reigns is staring at Seth, and Seth is damn near on a knee, just trying to see if he could stand back up. And Roman's like, it's always been us, because they are indeed the torch bearers and the carrier of the legacy of this era of professional wrestling in the WWE. So it was beautiful to see how that match ultimately ended. And in my opinion, the right guy won. I know some people felt as if, man, Roman should have went his entire career not being able to go and beat Seth at the highest stage, but I think this is the perfect way to go and close the chapter, because he's finally able to get that monkey off his back, defeat that damn albatross of Seth Rollins, who for whatever reason he could not put him down. This was the perfect way to go and have it happen. And ultimately they embraced at the end of the match, and they also paid tribute to Dean Ambrose as well with the clothesline from that middle rope, and then ultimately they both tried to hit the dirty deeds on each other, but ultimately I believe it was Roman who was actually able to go and connect. Seth Rollins connected on the clothesline, but then it was Roman Reigns who connected with the dirty deeds. That was pretty cool to go and watch. And then at the end they embraced together, the both fists there in the middle of the ring, and I believe somebody confirmed it was actually Dean Ambrose's mask, because I said, well, I don't know if that's actually Dean Ambrose's mask, but it's supposed to be a tribute to him because it was a 3 of them and he's in AEW. But if that's actually his mask, that's pretty cool too. One way or another, they closed the chapter, and it should be officially closed. Unless Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley comes back to WWE, that is the only time we should have any remnants of the Shield. We know they're going to go into the Hall of Fame, obviously, but that should be the only time in which we see the 3 of them together tagging or any sort of embrace. Outside of that, keep them away from each other. Keep them away from each other. This is the end of the chapter. They're done. We don't need to revisit the same goddamn story again. That's it. But overall, night 2, cinema. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I saw some criticism regarding night 1 where people were like, man, it was absolute ass. I didn't feel as if it was absolute ass. Do I feel like it was amazing and great? No, I think it was just slightly above average. But some people are like, man, SummerSlam was terrible. Terrible. Interesting. Now, night 2, I felt like it was leagues better than night 1. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the only downside, in my opinion, was Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio. And the only reason why I say that's a down is the quality of match for all of the other matches on the card were much higher.
I don't know about that ladder match, though, Chief. I don't know about that ladder match. If I had to rank night 2 is a B- for me. B-. B-. It's a B- for me. Trick Williams and that's a B-, bro. Trick Williams match was wasn't good. That was just a basic ass SmackDown match with Lil Yachty. The ladder match, they didn't seem like they was really into it, and they didn't give it they all, except for Lash Legend and Tiffany Stratton. They was and Chelsea Green. They was like the only 3 that was giving it they all. Everybody else was just like, I'm just here for the paycheck. Forgot what's the other one. Oh, the Fatal 4-Way was good too. Fatal 4-Way was good. Chad versus Penta was good. Roman and Seth was fucking cinema. Those 3 matches alone got this up to a B+. Where a B-, whereas night 1 I gave a C-, because I didn't think it was bad. I think night 1 was solid. I think night 1 was okay. It was okay. It's alright. Night 1 was alright. It was better than WrestleMania night 1. I'll say that much. 10 times better than WrestleMania night 1. That's not saying a lot, but still, it's better than that. So shit, I gave it a C-. But for the night 2, I give it a B-. It's not all that, but the 3 matches that I said were good, they delivered pretty much.
This match was average. It's a match that you could have seen on a Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, but all of the other matches I think were worthy of being on pay-per-view or premium live event, if you will. Nonetheless, solid pay-per-view in its totality. Night 2, I would give that a 9 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the overall SummerSlam because of the 9 of night 2, I think that bumps it up to an 8. I think I had it about, what, 7.5 in the previous rating. If I had it at an 8, I guess that brings it to a 9. But one way or another, it was decent for what it was worth. Or I should say above decent. Decent would have it a bit more, towards average. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was sports entertained. So now we'll find out on the road to Survivor Series War Games what the storylines will be moving forward. I would just hope that we don't have a War Games match for the sake of having a War Games match.
It's already been confirmed.
We'll cross that bridge when we have to. If there was only one thing that I kind of wish happened after the main event, is if Adam Pearce came out with Oba Femi and then they pulled like a Vince McMahon with a Batista. I wouldn't necessarily say a Vince McMahon with Edge, because Edge still had the briefcase at that particular point. But Oba is the king of the ring and rightfully earned the right to challenge for the championship, despite the fact that he did waive his opportunity to go and face Brock Lesnar, to take somewhat of a detour away from the World Heavyweight Championship, because he is indeed the king of the ring. And we saw him win the tournament. It's not as if it's some figment of our imagination. He is the rightful number 1 contender. Kevin Owens won the Fatal 4-Way to become the number 1 contender for the WWE Championship. That leaves no number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I think we can all acknowledge, if they gave Oba the match there, he did earn the right. And I would have loved if that was the case, but ultimately it wasn't in the cards. So we'll find out what happens and what pathway he's going to be on in the future. But overall, SummerSlam Night 2 was okay. It was all right. I enjoyed it. It was cinema. It was cool. So let it be known in the comment section what's your thoughts on that match.
But anyway, so that's just going to about do it for this one, most definitely, man. Yeah, if I had to rate SummerSlam as a whole, it's a solid C. Solid C for me. It's a solid C. Night 1 was a C minus. Night 2 was a B minus. So average that up, I give it a solid C. That's a solid C for me. That's passing though. That's passing. That means it was good. It was decent. All right. You know what I'm saying? Never said it was bad. Could have been better, but hey, it is what it is. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video. Till then, this is